Today, on the first ever episode of the Digital Orthodontist, we're going to be talking about how to not be that guy. You know, that guy. So today, on the very first episode of the Digital Orthodontist, we want to talk about not being that guy. And what I mean by that is on social media, there are people who treat it like it's not really social. As an orthodontist or an orthodontic practice, it's really easy for us to want to sell a lot of stuff, a lot of braces, a lot of Invisalign. And so our natural instinct is to want to go on there and say $500 off Invisalign, get some free records, win an iPad. And if you do that too much, you start to feel like that kind of guy that goes to a dinner party and just hands out business cards all night long. Don't be that guy. Don't be the person on social media that's always talking about trying to make a sale. Because eventually people, your audience, are going to stop listening to you. So if you don't know who Gary Vaynerchuk is, you need to look him up. He's who I consider to be sort of the expert on social media. A lot of big brands use him to tell their story. And one example he gives is about boxing. He's got a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And what he's getting at is the idea that if a boxer only throws uppercuts and haymakers and right crosses and big punches that could knock someone out, eventually the other boxer is going to get wise to that and is going to destroy them, right? You've got to throw some jabs. You've got to set the other boxer up, or you're going to be a terrible boxer. The same is true of orthodontic digital marketing. If all you do is market, win an iPad, come in and see us for a beautiful smile, things that aren't bad in and of themselves, if that's all you're doing, you're like the guy handing out business cards at a dinner party over and over and over. Or you're like the boxer that only knows how to throw big punches. You're not going to land those punches. And don't get me wrong, you do need to throw big punches. You've got to offer $500 off Invisalign sometimes if you want to sell more Invisalign. And that's okay, but it needs to be done in a small measure. When we as orthodontists post in different ways than people post, we sort of stand out like a sore thumb. We need to post more like people would post on their personal page. So then that way, when a timeline scrolls, our practice posts don't seem that different from what they're used to seeing. And I think in that way, people are more likely to engage with that material and that content, and they're more likely to see themselves in the content and in the story that you're telling. The posts that do best on social media are things about having a baby or someone's birthday. It's not that Johnny's braces came off. Those are good posts, and that's what we do as orthodontists, but it's not something that's going to inspire people to want to come get to know you. So I want to challenge you to not be that guy. I want to challenge you to post something that's not about teeth, that's not about braces, that's not about Invisalign. So this weekend, you're out at your son's soccer game or hockey match or whatever. Post about that. See how that photo does and see how people respond to that. Remember that this is telling your story and that it might compel someone, as crazy as it sounds, to come and see you for braces. Because if people like you, they're going to want to come see you to make their smile beautiful. So try it out and then come back and tell me how it goes. If you got any questions, reach out to me, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, Kyle@neoncanvas.com. Send me an email. We'll work through this together. See you back next week for another episode of the Digital Orthodontist. Have a great week.